Now more than ever, people are overwhelmed, they're anxious, and they're becoming depressed on all of the different fears going on in the world right now. But everyone has their own mindset and their own place of being in, but not only that, how they're living their life, believe it or not, affects their mood, and not enough people know about those specific factors. So while we may not be able to change outside forces, what we hopefully can begin to manipulate for the better in our own life is how we live our life. Welcome back, everyone. Great to have you here as always. Today we're going to be talking about a sensitive topic, that of depression. I'm guaranteeing you that right now in your life, or if you don't already, you will know someone within the next year or so that is suffering from depression. And I wanted to share with you some brand new science that, let me just see the date, came out just 10 days ago. This was done out of the University of Cambridge. It was a very well done study, and I'm going to link it up for you here today. And if you want to head over to it right now, it's called The Brain Structure, Immunometabolic and Genetic Mechanisms Underlying the Association Between Lifestyle and Depression. And it was published in the Journal of Nature Mental Health. And I'll link that up at stephencabral.com/2804. stephencabral.com/2804, and I'll also give you the 3 big takeaways from today's show. But what they found is that there are 7 lifestyle factors, but even 1 or 2 that made the biggest difference in slowing, stopping, or preventing depression. And I'd like to share those with you right now. So again, out of the University of Cambridge, and here it is. So, in research published today in Nature Mental Health, an international team of researchers, including from the University of Cambridge and Fudan University, looked at a combination of factors including lifestyle factors, genetics, brain structure, and immune and metabolic systems to identify the underlying mechanisms that might explain this link. According to the World Health Organization, around 1 in 20 adults experience depression, and the condition poses significant burden on public health worldwide. The factors that influence the onset of depression are complicated and include a mixture of biological and lifestyle factors. To better understand the relationship between these factors and depression, the researchers turned to the UK Biobank, a biomedical database and research resource containing anonymized genetic, lifestyle, and health information about its participants. By examining the data of almost 300,000 people, of whom 13,000 had depression, and they were followed over a 9-year period, they looked at 7 healthy lifestyle factors that were linked with lower risk of depression. Here are the lifestyle factors, and then we'll go into each one. Moderate alcohol consumption. We'll go over how much that is. Healthy diet, what does that mean? Regular physical activity, how much physical activity? Healthy sleep, how many hours? Never smoking, that's self-explanatory. Low to moderate sedentary behavior, we'll talk about that. And frequent social connection. Those were the 7 factors. Now let's go deeper. So of all of these factors, they said, having a good night's sleep between 7 and 9 hours is exactly what we've recommended on the Cabral concept now for over 8 years, made the biggest difference, reducing the risk of depression, including single depressive episodes and treatment-resistant depression by 22%. A 22% decrease. That's phenomenal. 7 to 9 hours of sleep per night. Use whatever you need to in a natural and positive way. Meditation, breath work, resonance breathing, HRV, vagal nerve stimulation, L-theanine, ashwagandha, magnesium, liquid melatonin, like whatever works for you. Let's get that body and having a good, solid night's sleep, since it's the number 1 factor. I mean, unbelievable. And it makes sense too, right? If you're stressed, you're staying up later, you're getting poor sleep, now you're overwhelmed because you have lack of energy. It's a vicious cycle. We've got to get that sleep. All right, the second one is this: frequent social connection, which in general reduced the risk for depression by 18% and was the most protective against recurrent depressive orders. Literally having someone to talk to. Not feeling lonely or isolated in the world. I mean, think over the last couple of years, how isolated people felt and continue to feel. The third one was this: moderate alcohol consumption decreased the risk of depression by 11%, a healthy diet by 6%, regular physical activity by 14%, never smoking by 20%, and low to moderate sedentary behavior by 13%. Now, all of this was really interesting because when we look at it, we're saying, well, what are they talking about by healthy diet? You know, they're not talking about, did you get 7 to 9 servings of fruits and vegetables per day? They're not talking about, did you use intermittent fasting? They're not talking about all the other factors of a healthy diet, which is pretty wild because they're not saying, did these people get in all of their methylated B vitamins for the day, which we know help with the depression? Did this person get enough magnesium and calcium intake for the day? There's no tracking of that. Did they get enough vitamin D? There's absolutely no tracking of that. And we know vitamin D3 dramatically lowers depression. So I'm a little bit dubious on the healthy diet part. I would put that at probably number 3. I really would, without a doubt. I would definitely say, I might put it at number 2, below social connection, then diet, and then sleep, because I think sleep can make up for a lot. You still want to get your sleep, no doubt about it, but I think that the nutrition piece, the nutrient piece, not just the food you put in your mouth, but the nutrient piece can make a huge difference. All right, physical activity. Here's the thing. It's really important. The physical activity, I believe, is part of the overall structure. So normal physical activity that's recommended is about 150 minutes per week, 7,500 to 10,000 steps per day. But for people that are depressed in our practice, and again, I'm not giving medical advice or medical treatment plans, medical cures, medical diagnosis, but we've seen that stimulating exercise pulls people out of depression, that then they may get that effect for hours. So what we've actually done in our practice is say, no, first thing in the morning, we're actually doing something stimulating to stimulate the body and get the thoughts and the focus away from the mind and back into the body. So we'll literally do a cold plunge in the morning, or we'll do sprints, or we'll do a workout, or we'll do a jog, and then we might do something later in the day because we need to make it last, and it doesn't necessarily last the whole day. And that has been game changing for people. So I'm just adding my 2 cents as well from clinical practice, what I've seen work the best. Now, these are a little bit more advanced than regular population. And I have seen this literally. The only time alcohol can be of benefit is if you're with a friend, a family member, and you're having a glass of maybe red wine together, and you're chatting, and you're laughing, and you're enjoying each other. But alcohol, by all standards, would increase depression if not, used in maybe a healthful way. So we have to be really careful with the use of alcohol. The lower the better for most people. It disturbs your sleep. You don't want to exercise. You're hungover. You're not feeling well. So we have to be careful with that one. That's all. Now, it can reduce stress in the moment, right? In the moment, but not necessarily the next day. It makes you forget about things sometimes in the moment, but I don't necessarily know that it's the best plan. All right, let me just read the end of this research, and we're going to go full recap and then pull it together as to what you can use for an action plan. So based on the number of healthy lifestyle factors an individual adhered to, they were assigned to one of 3 groups: unfavorable, intermediate, and favorable lifestyle. Individuals in the intermediate group were around 41% less likely to develop depression compared to those in the unfavorable lifestyle, while those in the favorable lifestyle group were 57% less likely. I mean, that is remarkable. So let's just say within your genes, right? Because genes don't necessarily, that they are not your destiny. That's the bottom line. Genes are not your destiny. Your genetics are not your destiny. However, they're part of your genes, right? And if the right things are put into alignment, meaning like negative lifestyle factors, those genetic expressions can come to fruition. So now almost 60% less by doing a lot of the right things, by doing more favorable things than not. So even if we were just to say, listen, we're going to get a couple people that we can talk to, a sibling, a friend, a coworker, a coach, a counselor, a therapist, whoever they might be, right? And we're going to work on our nutrition. We're going to work on our exercise. We're not going to be sedentary. Right there alone, now you're in the favorable category. Right? So now if you know that you are someone that trends more towards depression, or you're a practitioner, you have a client that trends more towards depression, well, now you've lowered that. Again, this is bio-individual, but you've lowered that by 57% on average. It's pretty remarkable. So what I would say is, again, whether you're a practitioner or whether you are general population looking to improve your overall health, improve your mood, the more of these that you can do, the better. Limit your alcohol. Only have alcohol when it's an enjoyable setting. You're enjoying it with a meal, with people that you love and you care for. The next one, healthy diet. Get in those brightly colored fruits and vegetables. Get enough protein in your diet. I know tomorrow I talk about protein, and you can overdo it. There's no doubt about it. But make sure you get enough protein in your diet, enough of your fruits and vegetables, without a doubt. Physical activity. Try to get 7.5 to 10,000 steps per day, 7,500 to 10,000 steps per day. And even if you only do that, you're well on your way. Healthy sleep, 7 to 9 hours of sleep a night. You can do that. You can make that happen, no doubt about it. Get to bed a little bit earlier, wake up a little bit earlier, start the day, get your body moving early. Don't smoke. Bottom line, don't smoke, and then add those frequent social connections. So hopefully this was helpful. We all know people out there that are struggling right now. If you can, try to share this show with them, and then maybe help them to begin to implement just at least one more of these into their life. Thanks so much for tuning into the show. For all the details, head on over to stevencabral.com/2804. And as I said, tomorrow, I'm going to be going over what happens when you overdo protein in your diet. There's always an equilibrium. There's always a balance that you have to strike. Thank you, everybody. Take care. And again, share the show with anyone you believe it could serve. Thanks so much for tuning into today's show. Before you go, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. I want to make sure that you're getting our daily content, not missing out on anything. Functional medicine, wellness, weight gain, weight loss, anti-aging, living longer, stronger, and all of the most cutting-edge research. And if there's any topics you want to hear, feel free to leave them in the comments below. Take care.